This is brought to you by the Electronic Church of God, Arizona. Thank you. Welcome to December 9th, 2007, the first work day of the week, Sunday. Well, brethren, we'll move right on over into the Lord's Care Ministry. 1 year with the Lord, day 343. Pilate hands Jesus over to be crucified. John chapter 18, verse 39 through chapter 19, verse 16. Also in Matthew chapter 27, verses 15 through 26. Mark chapter 15, verses 6 through 15. And Luke chapter 23, verses 13 through 25. But you have a custom of asking me to release someone from prison each year at the Passover. So if you want me to, I will release the King of the Jews. But they screamed back, "No, not this man, but Barnabas." Barnabas was a robber. Then Pilate laid open Jesus' back with a leaden whip, and the soldiers made a crown of thorns, and he placed it on his head and robed him in royal purple. "Hail, King of the Jews!" They mocked, and they struck him with their fists. Pilate went outside again and said to the Jews, "I'm going to bring him out to you now, but understand clearly that I find him not guilty." Then Jesus came out wearing the crown of thorns and purple robe, and Pilate said, "Behold the man." At sight of him, the chief priests and Jewish officials began yelling, "Crucify! Crucify! You crucify him!" Pilate said, "I find him not guilty." They replied, "But our laws, he ought to die because he called himself the Son of God." When Pilate heard this, he was more frightened than ever. He took Jesus back into the palace again and asked him, "Where are you from?" But Jesus gave no answer. "You will not talk to me?" Pilate demanded. "Do you not realize that I have the power to release you or to crucify you?" Then Jesus said, "You would have no power at all over me unless it was given to you from above. So those who brought me to you have a greater sin." Then Pilate tried to release him, but the Jewish leaders told him, "If you release this man, you are no friend of Caesar's. Anyone who declares himself a king is a rebel against Caesar." At these words, Pilate brought Jesus out to them again and sat down at the judgment bench on the stone-paved platform. It was now about noon of the day before Passover. And Pilate said to the Jews, "Here is your king." "Away with him," they yelled. "Away with him! Crucify him!" "What? Crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the chief priest shouted back. Then Pilate gave Jesus to them to be crucified. Scourging would have killed Jesus. The usual procedure was to bear the upper half of the victim's body and tie his hands to a pillar before whipping him with 3 pronged whips. The number of lashes was determined by the severity of the crime. Up to 40 were permitted under Jewish law. Deuteronomy chapter 25 and verse 3. Who is in control? Throughout the trial, we see that Jesus was in control, not Pilate or the religious leaders. Pilate vacillated, and the Jewish leaders reacted out of hatred and anger. But Jesus remained composed. He knew the truth. He knew God's plan. He knew the reason for his trial. Despite the pressure and persecution, Jesus remained unmoved. It was really Pilate and the religious leaders who were on trial, not Jesus. When you are a Christian or ridiculed because of your faith in the only living God and His Son. Remember that while you may be on trial for your life before your accusers, they are on trial before God. Do you fear God and keep His commandments? A Philippian pilgrim, a workman for God, a friend of Christ. Do you find yourself in the place of the one yelling, "Crucify Him"? You do that every time you deny Him. If that's the case, get down on your knees and repent and ask God for forgiveness. Ask Him to show you the narrow path that leads to His kingdom. He will answer. And with that, brethren, we're going to close for today. Now you have a good one. And God willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now. Produced for you by Forrest Grote. Thank you.